Today we are going to talk about percent proportions. This is how we set up our percent proportions and our keywords. We are going to have looks like our line didn't show up, so let's draw in a line there. We can darken this line. So we have a part over a whole, or is over of. These are going to be the key words that are in our sentences that are going to tell us what goes where. And then, of course, our equal signs, the percent value over 100. This is constant. It remains the same. In any percent proportion that we will set up, this number right here will always be 100. So there are three types of percent questions. One asking for the part. When it asks for the part, it's going to say, what is 15% of 100 as an example. When it's asking for this is the variable in our proportion. So part, then we have our percent. We're looking for percent, so what percent? And then we have our whole. 15 is 20% of what number? Remember our percent fraction of, that keyword of. That's where our variable goes. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to use these keywords, part and is, percent, and that's just flat out percent, what percent, and then the of for the whole. So number 1 says 45 is what percent of 50? So I brought in our first proportion part to help us with this. When we are talking about a percent proportion, what is, I would say this first part right here, is one line. So 45 is what percent? Percent is over here, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to underline what percent with 3 lines because that goes in our third slot. Of, here's that keyword of is in our second slot, so I'm going to put 2 lines under it. So 45 is 1 line under it, so it is the part. And I have 66 here, but this should be a 50. 50 is it's underlined twice, and it's in the of, so it is the whole. And what percent is the question? So that's our variable that it's asking us. So if I set it up, we have part or is 45 over whole or of 50. Equals our percent. We don't know that, so we're going to put an X over our one number that is constant, 100. And then we solve. We say, how do we get 50 to 100? What can we do to 50 to get to 100? And that is if I multiply by 2. And what I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top. So then that is 45 times 2. Which gives me 90. So X equals 90%, because it's asking for percent. 90 over 100, which is what would be here, equals 90%. You could also simplify this ratio first before you try to get to 100. So let's try this again. Number 2 says, what number is 70% of 600? So I'm going to do that underlining thing again, where I say this is spot 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to underline what number is So what number is, there's that is, that's in the first slot. 70% is in our third slot. And of 600, that keyword of, is in our second spot. So part or is our variable. Whole or of is 600 because it says of 600, and percent is 70%. So we're going to use that when setting up our proportion. So the first thing we're going to put is our part, which is an x, over our whole or of, which is 600, equals 70% is the same thing as 70 over 100. So we could do those two things. We can simplify this ratio, or if I can get it straight across, I can do that. And I can say 100 times 6 equals 600. What I do on the bottom, I have to do on the top. So 70 times 6 is what I'm going to do to solve for x. So I have 70 times 6. 7 times 6 is 42. So that means that x equals 420. And let's box that. Okay, I would like you to try number 3 on your own. Whenever you have finished, I would like you to press pause and check to see if you got it correct. Okay, so you should have gotten x equals 80. Our part was 28, our whole was a variable, and our percent is 35. So 28 over x equals 35 over 100. I simplified this ratio. Remember, I've been saying that from the beginning, if that makes it easier. I couldn't get 35 to 28 without doing a decimal, so I said 35 divided by 5 is 7. 100 divided by 5 is 20. And then I said, how do I get 7 to 28? And that's by multiplying by 4. Number 4 is the same concept. I would like you to complete number 4 on your own. And when you have finished, press play. We are going to actually check this one tomorrow in class. Okay, so number 5 is Mrs. Rocha has 15 students in her social studies class. If 8 of them are girls, what percentage are boys? Okay, so we have 15 students. That's total. So that is our whole. 7, so 8 of them are girls, but it's asking for boys. So I need to take 15 minus 7. 8 of them are girls. So 15 minus 8, which gives me 7. So 7 are boys, which is my part. And then it's asking what percentage. So in here, I can also do the underline thing. 15 students in her social studies class. 8 of them are girls, that's the part, and what percentage? There's my 3 lines right there. So that is x equals percent. Okay, now that I've given you these, I would like you to set this up on your own and solve. You may have to use a decimal to help you solve for this problem. We will check this tomorrow in class.